Portsmouth. Okay.
Isolated, away from everyone.
Yes, away from everything. Yes, I can understand why you're trying to kill yourself. Emily, please take a stand. A round of applause for Emily as she approaches the stand. Emily, I'm going to sway you in using the law for dummies. Please sit on the chair, speak into the microphone, put your hand on this book and say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear to tell the whole truth. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yeah, that's not how I said it though. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Again, that's not how I said it. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
There we go. Well done. Emily, would you describe yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Gordon Ramsay, and 1 being, I don't know, a dead cat. How would you rate your cooking ability?
I swear I'm quite close to Gordon Ramsay range. I think I'm pretty good.
Quite close to Gordon Ramsay. Okay, so we have 2 incredibly confident sides of the audience. I've seen that idiot putting his meals together. Dominic, at what stage in the holiday did this occur? First night, last night, after a boozy night out? When did the offence occur?
I think it was day 3. I'm going to say day 3.
Day 3 into a wild week in Portsmouth. What else were you doing this week?
Just going for walks around the seaside. I think it was the summer, maybe it was the winter. I don't know.
Went to Portsmouth, possibly in the winter, to walk around looking at the sea, perhaps just considering slowly walking into it.
Yeah, exactly. Or jumping right off into the sea.
Yeah, it's right nothing to say. Okay. If you've been affected by any of the issues brought up in the show, there will be something you can talk to on the way out. What was Emily cooking when she nearly burnt the house down?
Spag balls. It's spag balls.
Can I advise you to have
Steak! No, steak.
You think it was a steak. Emily, you're saying it was a spaghetti bolognese. Okay. Fascinated in someone who might have burnt the house down while cooking spaghetti bolognese. Famously inflammable dish. Anyway, we have more important information. When she was caught, it never happened again as far as you know. So you're saying that Emily did learn from this crime and hasn't reoffended?
Well, I mean, now I just have to cook for myself, so...
Now you have to cook for yourself?
I have to cook for myself.
Almost like an adult man. Dominic?
Well, I basically saved the day.
I'm asking the questions in this court, Dominic. On a scale... Emily, could you put your fingers in your ears for me, please? On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate Emily's cooking. I've got to be honest here. Okay. Put his hand up. Okay, Dominic, okay. Pull it there.
What do you think steak spaghetti bolognese?
Was 10 the highest or the...
Bless you, that was the scale, we'll pass that. Dominic, stop showing me numbers, Dominic. You've gone from 10 to 2, you're going back up again. You don't know the system. I asked Emily to cover her ears.
Tell her to cover her eyes this time.
I think we're well past that stage. Dominic, what is it that makes you feel so entitled to have this woman cook for you all the time?
We're taking it in turns, but now I don't get anything.
That's a perfectly reasonable explanation, Dominic. Just because I worded it in an aggressive way doesn't mean that the answer is perfectly fine. We take it in turns, the rest of you went, whoa, that's a perfectly fine response. Do you think you're a better cook than Emily, or is Emily the better cook?
No, I'm a terrible cook.
You're a terrible cook. You're a terrible cook. Okay, understood. Emily, why did this happen? What was the extent of the fire?
It was only a little one.
A little one?
Yeah, it was put out quite quickly.
It was put out quite quickly. With a damp towel, or...?
Well, it was like a kitchen paper that went on fire. So to kind of threw the kitchen paper into the sink.
He threw the kitchen paper into the sink?
Yeah, that threw the water on it, like...
Put water on it?
Yeah, that was fire.
And thus disaster was averted.
Yeah.
Good. And would you describe that as the highlight of the Portsmouth holiday?
Yeah.
Setting a tea towel on fire. Who arranged this holiday, or was it the two of you together?
It was me. I arranged it.
You arranged the holiday. Good. Okay.
I'm also going to go with kidnapping as well, as like a side.
Dominic, help me help you.
I don't think you need to go for kidnapping, my friend. Taking Dominic to Portsmouth, you've admitted that you took him to Portsmouth. Taking him to Portsmouth for a holiday, just walking, burning the food. The accusation is here, the charge is psychological torture. The only appropriate thing. Okay, you've taken this poor innocent who doesn't understand the difference between looking and listening. This man is working at limited capacity, and that is the kindest way I can phrase that. And you took him to a godless place, and you put him in conditions that no human by right should have to live in. The charge is psychological torture. Dick Slayton, please present the prosecution.
By her own admission, Emily is a Gordon Ramsay chef. Therefore, would she, at Gordon Ramsay level, burn something as simple as spaghetti bolognese? Spaghetti bolognese, the only menu choice of a sad first date man, the kind of man, innocent, low skill, like Dominic, might prepare for you on a first date. No, this woman is an expert. It could only be premeditated. What has been the outcome of this? Dominic now has to do all the cooking. It's interesting. Somebody who's a known good cook ruins a recipe in a way that's life-threatening. Suddenly all the labour goes to poor Dominic, even though he's not actually that good at it. Interesting, isn't it? That is a criminal mastermind sitting there, the smiling, beautiful blonde face of a splinty-eyed manipulator. Don't fall for it, guys. She relies on that. We've seen it once with Sarah. This is not a courtroom that's going to be flirted out of justice. No.
I don't know about that.
I don't. They're not giving me a lot to work with, Judge. They're not giving me a lot to work with. Poor Dominic went on the holiday. By his own admission, he didn't even know what day of the week it was, but he went with it because he loves her. That is a beautiful thing. She was serving something that he didn't know if it was a pasta dish or a steak dish, and he was prepared to eat it because he loves her, and that is beautiful. And she took advantage of that goodwill. She put his life at risk. She presumably put their travel insurance policy at risk. There was an excess there that would be paid. Who would pay that excess, Dominic?
Me.
It would be you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel like we need to call an expert witness.
What expert witness would you like to call?
I don't know, somebody.
Not the drug expert.
No. What we need is a body language expert who could see through a professional flirt, like we've got here on the stand. Does anyone think that they could analyse my Emily here?
Actually, a behaviour protection officer, I think, for my job.
Okay, stand up and say that again,
You've
ladies.
let me down before, mushrooms, but I'm prepared to hear evidence again.
Please stand up again, my friend, and please say the exact sentence you just said louder and slower.
So I'm a behaviour detection officer.
You're a behaviour detection officer.
Yeah, I observe people's behaviour, analyse it.
Yes, but you first came in with, yeah, I know shit loads about drugs, mate. Skank, H, doesn't matter what it is.
No, it was in my mouth. I did not say that. I just said mushrooms, and you took that and then run with it. So that was your fault, not mine.
She was talking about vegetables, Your Honour.
Exactly.
These are all reasonable arguments, I will consider them. But at the moment you're not here for your drug expertise, you smackhead. You're here because you are a behavioural expert. Emily, you weren't expecting us to have an actual behaviour expert. So I don't want you to feel in any way under real interrogation. What's important here is that you don't feel like every move that you'll make is being scrutinised in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. Expert witness and prosecution.
Interesting that she's crossed her arms, isn't
And the
it?
legs.
Oh, crossed arms. What in your learned opinion might that mean about the evidence that she's
Hiding
given?
secret, protected, you know what I mean?
So she might be hiding
She's
something.
not open. You know, when you're open, you have nothing to hide.
Despite being under oath, she is keeping something back from us.
Because she might not be saying it, but her body is kind of reacting to your question.
an expert witness. And what do you think about Dominic? What are we thinking about Dominic? Does this look like a man capable of a trumped-up charge for a woman that
Yes. Have you seen the smile on his face? He's enjoying this.
But he's by his own admission, he's a simpleton.
He plays a simpleton.
If I may speak to my expert witness, Mike doesn't know where he is from.
Was it winter? Was it summer? We don't know.
Was it steak? Was it spaghetti?
No, but that's what he's saying. Look at his body language. Look, he's quite confident, sat there, relaxed, chilled. You know, if somebody was confused, they would be like,
Relax and chill though.
Hold on.
I think she wants them both to go down.
I'm going to challenge the expertise of our expert here, because our expert has just asserted that if he was genuinely confused, he would do things like this. Was your training on Warner on his cartoon?
he'd be agitated.
He'd be agitated.
No, he'd be nervous, like he'd be tapping or something like, you know.
Yes, but your version of someone who's nervous is someone who's twitching and putting faces. Someone who's been taking illegal drugs. The reason the people you know are twitching and pulling faces is because they've got a nose full of Chang, my friend. This man hasn't done that. He doesn't know where he is. He talks to drug dealers. He gets in the car, he gets too excited. He goes, oh, I'm in the brum brum. And they don't know what's happening.
So what we've got from the expert witness is that Emily is definitely defensive and hiding something, and this man is confident because he knows the truth is on his side. He is absolutely relaxed.
Excellent.
He is not agitated. He is presenting a case of pure honesty and conviction. And with that, I will.
Excellent spirit of prosecution team. Prosecution. Very convincing, despite you've convinced me about the expert there. Very good work. Rachel Krieger, A Mountain to Climb.
Hello. I would like to call an additional expert witness.
All right, I've been look at the same one again. But
It's the only one we've got. You're on.
I don't think it is, because I would like to call our expert witness here in the front, who I've noticed really assessing the body language of all so far of the accused people and our expert witness here, and making certain judgments, judging by the look of your face.
We met before. We haven't.
Well, it's good that you've been honest about that, because we don't want a conspiracy.
You're addressing the lady in the
I'm
glasses.
addressing the lady in the...
Madam, what's your
is that
name?
black and white?
Me?
Yeah.
Ash.
Ash. Nice to meet you, Ash. Ash, what do you do for a living, Ash?
I'm an accountant.
You're an accountant.
An accountant.
How about it?
I could sense that. Ash, if you don't mind standing up so we can just ask you a few questions. Ash, as an accountant,
Yes.
are you used to assessing whether people are honest or dishonest in their expenditure?
No, but I will give it a go today. Yes, partially.
It's the 31st of March today.
Yes, it's the tax return deadline.
Or 3rd January.
Yes.
I told you I got a date. I should have said at the beginning that I've got dyslexia and I get an extra 15 minutes for everything. The 31st of January today, and if you're not sure about people's honesty and dishonesty in their tax, can you give me your card? That's what I need at the end. But yes, I've noticed you really like peering at people and nodding and shaking your head when you seem to agree or disagree. So I feel you're a good judge of character. Is that something that's been said about you before, Ash?
I would think that I'm a good judge of character.
And do you know Sarah?
Hold on. If I may interject for just a second. We can assess your ability to, somebody is, if indeed you are a good judge of character, as you claim, so I just want you to give a yes or a no to the following people to see if you're a good judge of character.
Interesting.
Sir David Attenborough.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Beyonce Knowles.
Yes.
Okay, Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
Jimmy Savile.
She hesitated.
That was a no. That was a no.
Okay, that was a trick question. It didn't work. Thought I was going to get you on a series of yeses there, but you have acquitted yourself well as an expert.
See, and now I can put it on my CV.
Yes, feel free to use anything we say this evening for your professional communication.
I'd like you to post it on LinkedIn.
And just what's your take on Farida's assessment of the situation as my expert witness in support of our poor accused Emily?
She's a witness for justice.
She's not
Right.
yours.
Remains to be
Quite
seen.
right, Vince Layton.
Yeah. I think she did a great job, but I also think that sitting in front of people can make you quite nervous and closed off, and to make you kind of like hide yourself because you're in front of a room of spectators.
Quite right. Thank you, Ash. I dismiss you because you've said, thankfully, exactly what I'm going to say. It's a long shot, isn't it? So, that's brilliant. I'm very concerned about the situation that poor Emily is facing here. Emily, who spends her time, another person, up in the trees, enjoying nature and instructing people so that they can progress and feel confident. And here she is with a partner who is clearly a psychopath. Because who would put a loving, affectionate, intelligent, healthy, strong partner of theirs up on the stand and not show the slightest bit of anxiety about this whole proceeding? Sitting there looking all calm and collected, Ms. Layton, sign up for definite serial killer, at the very least, if not worse. I think there might be worse. Dominic wasn't sure which season it was. It could have been winter. He said it might have been winter. In a cold place like Southsea, what's the one thing you're going to want on a romantic trip but an open fire for that little bit of coziness to you? How beautiful. And what does he do? Flings it in the sink like some kind of horrible scrunched up bit of kitchen roll instead of seeing the beauty in what she was offering. Not only that, but Emily very clearly stated that she was cooking Gordon Ramsay level spaghetti bolognese. When did we last see a beautiful dish like that? In the film Lady and the Tramp. The most arguably the most romantic moment in screen history. What does he do? Reject it and remember it as steak.
Objection. You're calling the victim a tramp, and that's just not. It's not on trial here.
There's no politically correct way of dealing with that statement. All I can say is we've had two behavioural experts, one questionable, one accurate. And something
the one that could see both the defendant and the victim, not the one with their back to him the whole time.
She was twisting and turning, I was watching. She was twisting and turning almost as if she was desperate to have an instruction session on Go Ape. One of the things that I noticed that I think that other people might have been oblivious to, but we too are trained in human behaviour, is that as soon as you called Emily's name, and you did comment on this, Your Honour, she leaped up because she knows that she's innocent and she has nothing to be scared of, nothing to be ashamed of. Just look at her. Open body language, relax now, because she knows that all the evidence points at having, if any kind of crime's been committed, is that she's given her heart to a heartless partner. Doesn't appreciate a little bit of romance, even in Southsea, where nothing could be more necessary.
Thanks everybody, round of applause for these. So, two cases brought there. One, continuing the idea, indeed the accusation and the charge that Emily is, some kind of, well, it's sort of attempted murder, really, basically, by fire. And you have one expert witness, and there's been a counter-expert witness and a counter-expert witness. At one point, one of the expert witnesses started assessing the other one, who were in danger of getting into a reality loop, and I genuinely lost my mind for a second and went to a different place. And the defence is that this woman is merely a romantic who tried to provide a warm fire and a decent meal, and is generally a pillar of society who trains people to do Go Ape, which is literally the most middle-class job I've ever heard of in my entire life.
It's a torture, isn't it? She tortures for a living.
It's a survival skill, and if we've learned nothing from the last 2 years of apocalypse, we're going to need to live in trees at some point soon.
That's not how it was in the how many things I've been on.
I think you've heard both cases. If you agree that Emily is guilty, I want you to cheer on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Do you think Emily is innocent? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Guilty again? Woo! Innocent again? Woo! Emily, you are innocent! Emily and Dominic, swap places, please. Dominic, can you take the stand forward, please? Dominic, we'll get this over with quickly, Dominic, if you could. We also have, thank you very much indeed, some courtroom arts. Dominic, if you could make your way to the stage. Dominic, make your way up here, please. Emily, if you could sit down, Dominic, make your way up here. We've got, I mean, that is not how big my beard is.
I mean, that's practically a photo.
Yeah, it's very good. I didn't remember Rachel Brigger being a ghost, but it's nice to include her there. And Vic seems to have been...
Trees!
Yes!
Beautiful!
I mean, the man's absolutely off his nut. He's picking it out of his mind. Thomas, could you please explain your artistic process for me, please?
There are some plants with flies as well.
Plants with flies! Very good, very good. And here's the jury there as well. Lovely stuff. Very good.
Someone got a red flag.
Big one?
No, that was an iPhone.
There are a lot of red flags in this room.
I was about to say.
Very good. Round of applause for Thomas. Dominic, the spaghetti non-eater, you are going to swear the whole truth and nothing but the truth on the complete book of mints. Put your hand on it. Please say, I swear. I swear. To tell the truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Very good. Dominic, you're accused by Emily of doing really smelly farts.
Out of love.
Out of love? Very strange way of showing love, Dominic.